Shabbat Shalom, everybody. A long, long, long time ago, it seems, when we were able to gather for Shabbat together, we sang the Nana song and we taught it to everybody. And one of the children came up to me after the service and said, "You know, that song is really, really happy." And so it seemed like a good song to open our service tonight. Join us in singing it. The first part, all you have to do is sing na 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 with us. The Hebrew that you'll hear will be a blessing. You'll hear Baruch Atah Adonai. Praised are you, eternal God, ruler of the universe, for giving us the opportunity to repair the world. The Nana song.
Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Good to have you with us this evening for Erev Shabbat services. We'll begin by taking a moment to catch our breath. Let go what was challenging about the week. Hold on to some of the good things about the week, and there were some good things this week. And we'll take a moment for silent meditation. We continue our service now. The Chatzi Kaddish on page 22. Ooh, I forgot something. Scratch that. Go to page 224 instead. It would be nice before we do a Shabbat service to start Shabbos, and we will do so with lighting Shabbos candles, page 224. And now, I think either the meditation for me was too long or too short, one of the two. But we will continue our service now with Chatzi Kaddish on page 22, which will lead us right into the Baruch Hu on page 24.
Yitkadav v'yitkadosh shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach hiruteh ve'amlich malkuteh b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayedecho bet Yisrael bagala uvisman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehesh Talal, Shemed Kodasho,
Rehu,
La'ela, Min Kol Birchata, V'shirata, Tush Bechata,
V'nechemata,
V'nechemata, Damiran Be'ama, V'ibru,
Amen.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam vaed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam vaed.
Continue now the middle of page 27. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back or shall we cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back or shall we cross over? El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimlokan Leinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hamahari V'Aravim.
Amen.
Middle of page 28. Everlasting love you have offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life. And doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Ve'aftacha tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema, page 30.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed.
Hafta, page 32.
Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Top of page 35. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. From Shirat Hayam, the Song at the Sea, Mi Chamocha, page 36. Kifa Adonai Yaakov, V'dilo Mirazak Mimenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. With thoughts of Shekhinah, God's sheltering presence, Hashkivenu, let there be love, page 39.
Understanding among us, let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Understanding among us, let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Shalom Shalom Yatavi Adolam, Baruch Atah Adonai, Aporei Sukkot Shalom. Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. prayer for Shabbat Vishamru, page 40.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Bein Yuvain b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam.
Svatai Tivtach, the meditation on page 130 leads us into the Amidah, the standing prayer beginning on page 132.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומגבולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Complete the remainder of the Midah silently out of the words on the page from 140 through 153, or the words that are in your heart this Shabbat.
Songs we weave, from where they come to where they go. Anim's me wrote these songs we sing. These songs we sing, Anim's me wrote. These songs we weave, Anim's me wrote, from where they come to where they go. These songs we sing, Anim's me wrote. Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai HaGedula, HaGavura, HaTifera, HaNetzach VeHaHod, Ki Hu Bashamayim U'Va'aretz, Bashamayim U'Va'aretz, Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha, Ve'amid Haseh Lechol Rosh.
So this week we celebrated Tu B'Av, the 15th day of the month of Av, not to be confused with Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of the month of Av. Tu B'Av, not widely known or widely celebrated on the Jewish calendar, but it is arguably a needed antidote. An antidote to the message of Tisha B'Av and an antidote to the times we now find ourselves. Tisha B'Av is the day, Tisha B'Av, not Tu B'Av, Tisha B'Av is the day on which we remember every pretty much awful thing that ever happened to the Jewish people. The destruction of both the first and the second temple, the Crusades and the Spanish Inquisition. And just as an aside, if you didn't know, there was also a Portuguese Inquisition. It picked up right where the Spanish Inquisition left off after 1492 and lasted until 1821. Pogroms, blood libels, you name it, you get the idea. But with all that, the overarching theme of Tisha B'Av is reflected in Echad, the book of Lamentations, does not focus on those who persecuted us. At least as it relates to our exile after the destruction of the temple, we lay blame on our own doorstep. It is the sin of sinat chinam, baseless hatred, that led to our own downfall. Rather than being destroyed from the outside, we destroyed ourselves from within. On the Jewish calendar, Tisha B'Av is the culminating bad news day at the end of 3 weeks of mourning. And we gladly follow this down period with 7 weeks of comfort and consolation leading up to Rosh Hashanah. And within it is the relatively obscure Tu B'Av that comes just 6 days after Tisha B'Av. You could almost describe Tu B'Av as baseless love. Everyone wears borrowed white clothes, so no one can tell who is rich and who is poor, and in that way no one is shamed. There is dancing in the fields and an understanding that dance partners become life partners on this day. On this day of a full moon, God makes a promise of marriage to the entire world. Rabbi Jill Hammer describes it as a day of love without shame. This message, coincidentally enough, and we Jews love and thrive on coincidence, meshes nicely with this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is Parashat Ekev in the book of Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy. The word Ekev can be translated as because of, or on account of, or as a consequence of. And the long and short of it is that our actions have consequences. So in the Torah portion, we are admonished to cut away the barrier from our heart. By cutting away, what we're really doing is circumcising our hearts, an obvious reference to our covenant of circumcision, symbolizing our relationship with God. On the other hand, the meaning of a circumcised heart is not quite so obvious. First, it is helpful to know that the heart in the Jewish world is not so much a reservoir of emotion, but rather a foundation of comprehension. To clear barriers from around the heart is to get beyond closed minds. It is to be receptive to different modes of thinking and to be receptive to people not like us. The prophet Jeremiah describes an uncircumcised heart as moral insensitivity. It is oppressing the poor, not giving shelter to the homeless, not feeding the hungry, not providing healing to those who suffer illness. For Jeremiah, a circumcised heart acknowledges our covenant with God, and with that, an understanding of good and evil. Rashi, the great commentator, understood that once a person's heart is sealed, God's wisdom cannot enter. We instead fall back on our Yetzer Hara, our bad inclination, an inclination towards self-centeredness. It is a mindset of only making decisions for one's own benefit. It is a mindset that does not allot for gratitude for the others in our lives, nor does it allot for gratitude for what God provides for us. Today, we see the consequences of acting with sinat chinam, with baseless hatred, and acting with an uncircumcised heart. It is an environment in which violence becomes prevalent, people live with despair, and most sadly, people die needlessly. It is the worst of our communities, our country, and our world has to offer. And yet, we know from our history that there is always the possibility of Tu B'Av, to create a world of unity over division, a world where no one feels shame, a world where love reigns. It is the love that comes with action, acting on behalf of others. Never, at least in my lifetime, has the world faced greater challenge. And yet I believe never has there been a time when greater unity, care, and love has been possible. As we leave Tisha B'Av behind and bask in the joyous glow of Tu B'Av, may we do the work of circumcising our hearts, the work that makes love possible, and the work for a world of divine unity. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may that be God's will. Chant a bit of Torah, actually from the passage in Akev about circumcising our hearts, beginning with Torah blessings on page 200.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Barak Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Umatem, arlat levatem, ve'arpechem, lo takshu od, ki Adonai Elohim, hu Elohei Elohim, v'Adonai Hadonim, ha'el hagadol v'hagibor v'hanora, asher lo yisa panim, v'lo yikach shochad, oseh mishpat yatom v'almanah, Ohev ger, latet lo, lachem v'simla.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Now come to the time in our service when we think about those who can't be with us due to illness. We wish them Rufah Shlema, Rufat HaNefesh, Rufat HaGuf, a complete healing, a healing in both spirit and body. The Mishnah Barak prayer is on the top of page 203. Ask you to keep in your thoughts and hearts those who are in need of a blessing of healing.
Find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha bless those in need of healing with refuah. the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Connect our Torah throughout the generations back to Moses placing it in our hands at Har Sinai at Mount Sinai, Vizot HaTorah, bottom of page 203.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'ya Moshe la 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 la
We say our Torah is an Eitz Chaim, a tree of life. Ki Lekach Tov leads us into Eitz Chaim, page 206.
Ki lekach tov natati lachem Torati al tazovu Eitz Chaim hi lemasikim ba v'tomchecha meushar derachea darchenov v'chol netivotecha shalom Ashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Hadesh Yamenu Hadesh Yamenu 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 Kekedem.
Continue with prayer for a better world. Aleinu, page 214.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים
ומשתחווים
ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגופי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו כך כתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות בלבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד
Middle of 216.
ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We now recall to memories for blessing all of those for whom we observe Yortzites this week, and all those whose name wish to be remembered, along with all those who died from COVID-19. I know we did observe Tom Patterson's Yortzeit this week. Anybody else here? We ask you who are watching to place in your hearts those whose Yortzeits occurred this week and those you wish to be remembered for Mourner's Kaddish. Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, page 221. Yikadal, V'yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma, Divrach, Yirete, V'yamlich Malchute, B'chayechon, V'yamechon, V'chaye, D'chol Beit Yisrael, B'agalav, V'zman Kariv, V'imru, Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Mevarach, Le'olam Elomei Omaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei D'kudisha, Brichu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. Some thank yous this evening for our musicians for beautiful, wonderful, spiritually meaningful music this evening, to our music director, Laura Steinell, to Brendan Howard on vocals and guitar, to Karen Engebretson on piano and vocals, to our very, very generous people, generosity of spirit, generosity of time. The good folks here at All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. Mark Gibbons, our technical director. Lucas Teston, the audiovisual engineer. Andrea Johnson, also here volunteering her time this evening. We are so appreciative. Anthony Edwards, the music director, or the director of music and worship arts here at All Souls, and my dear colleague and friend, Reverend Dr. Kendall Gibbons, the senior minister here at All Souls. Coming events, coming attractions at Kol Ami. This Sunday at 10 a.m., there will be a garden tour and a chance to get your hands dirty if you so desire at our garden in Mannheim Park. Steve Sacken will be out there at 10 a.m. this Sunday to give tours to any who wish and see the incredible work that's been going on in the garden. Even as we haven't been able to gather together in a way that we would like to, the work goes on. I urge those who can, please, as always, when you're in space together, wear a mask, try and practice social distancing, be respectful of others, but check out the garden. It is amazing. Our weekday services, Monday through Friday, continue at 8 a.m. It's a short 15 minutes, an abbreviated Shacharit morning service, along with a little study. We've been doing a little Talmud, a little Jill Hammer Jewish Book of Days, and it's just a wonderful way to stay connected during a challenging time and just be in community together. So if you haven't checked it out, I urge you to give it a try. It's a Zoom worship event. Next Friday night, we will continue our monthly Shabbat speaker series. Dana Mae Abram, the principal at Martin Luther King School, will be our speaker. We are excited about our ongoing partnership with Martin Luther King School, which actually was facilitated through our connection with the Mannheim Park neighborhood and the garden. So good things just keep begetting more good things. Urge you to check the website and the weekly newsletter for other upcoming programs and events. I want to make sure I didn't leave anything out from you all. Anything coming up, happening?
Should mention, if you're coming to the garden on Sunday or you just happen to be going up and down Main Street, straight ahead of us in the outside patio here are barrels for collecting two things that migrants who are in the area pretty soon picking apples need. They need paper bags, the kind that you get at the grocery store, and they need sanitizer. And we have 2 bins just right outside on the patio. You don't have to knock on the door, you don't have to come inside. And if you're able to donate clean paper bags and sanitizer, the folks who pick apples and make local apples available to us in our stores will find it very helpful.
Great, thank you for that important reminder. We're good. I think we're ready for Kiddush and Motzi, page 231. Vayir v'yivoker yom hashishi, vayachulu hashamayim ve'haaretz, v'chol tzevam, vayakol Elohim bayom hashvihi, malakto asher asa, vayishbot bayom hashvihi, mikol malakto asher asa, vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvihi, vayikadesh oto, Ki hivo Shabbat mikol malakto, asher bara Elohim lasot. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodesho be'ahava v'ratzon hinchilanu, Zikaron l'maseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol amim, V'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom, everybody. So glad you could join us this evening. A restful and a meaningful Shabbat. Good Shabbos, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.